But we still have one more opponent for him to go through, and that opponent is who we're going to be seeing in the next matchup. This one should be a lot of fun as well. Uzi and Pray, 280 carries, two of the best guys out there in the bottom lane that are going to be going head-to-head. This is going to be so much fun to see. We know both these guys are incredibly mechanically talented. We know both these guys have the ability to carry on Summoner's Rift. And hell, we've seen him carry so far on Howling Abyss in the past couple of days.
Oh yeah, we saw Uzi play the Misfortune Mirror against BRTT, as well as play Lucian into Levi's Victor, and take both of them down. But Uzi is taking this so seriously. Like, I watched his 1v1s over again. Like, his 5v5s, he's laughing, he's having a great time. His 1v1s, he hasn't cracked a smile at all during the 1v1s. Whereas, on the other side, Pray, this guy's just a smile factory. This guy was actually voted in the LCK as basically the heart of the LCK. He is pretty much the most likable pro over there. It was an award that he actually got because he's just so bubbly. But right now, it looks like they're both stoic. They're both really focused on this as two legendary 80 carries, but I want to see if Pray can make Uzi smile.
I mean, Uzi seems so incredibly focused on this. I don't know if anything's going to break that. The man seems like he has one mission coming here to the 1v1 tournament, and that's to walk away with the win. I mean, some people take it more seriously than others. We saw yesterday Pray and Reckless. I believe it was actually Pray's idea to play Garen versus Garen, Flash Ignite, dance with each other at the start, but I somehow think you aren't going to get Uzi into his dancing shoes today.
I mean, you got to try, though. That's how you do
gotta
it. You just say, like, hey, do you want to play Garen? If he shuts you down, it's like, oh, okay, you know.
No, I don't even think you're going to get shut down. You're just going to get the scene, 8:52 p.m., check mark, and then no response. Uzi's just got one goal, Zyrene. He's going to win.
Yeah, I mean, he has been set on that. He said that he wants to be the first two-time champion, and he could go up against the 2015 champion in Bjergsen in the finals if he wins this. It could be one of them trying to reclaim the title and one of them defending, because Uzi right now has it from 2016.
At the same time, though, talking about Pray, this guy who's part of the what everybody was calling the Korean super team coming to All-Stars here, there's a reason this guy made that thing the title that it had, right? There's a reason everybody was like, super team has all the best players all over the place. Pray is such an incredibly talented 80 carry. This guy knows how to win matchups. And hey, if Uzi says, let's play seriously, maybe it's time to get rid of the grins, get rid of the giggles, and show this guy how to take it seriously. I don't know.
I don't know. I hope Pray. I mean, he did lose earlier today to the LPL team and to Uzi in lane multiple times.
Could be time for payback.
Maybe it's payback. Maybe Pray is a little bit serious about this too, because he would be the person going on to represent the LCK since they're knocked out of the 5v5.
Right, and then, since he's going up against Bjergsen, you would have two members of teams eliminated from the 5v5 competition looking to bring that vengeance and that glory to their region at the end of the 1v1. But let's see exactly how they decide to go about it here. I expect to see a lot of 80 carry bans, Zyrene.
And it looks like not a lot of communication so far, but the Draven ban is interesting because Pray is known for having a bad Draven. The Praven nickname is not a positive one. It's a bad one where he wasn't able to actually perform on it consistently. So, banning it out. The Misfortune and the Syndra from Pray.
Kalista, the final ban from Uzi. Pray, what's it going to be? What do you got tucked away here?
It's interesting, too, because they're both 80 carries. So when you ban an 80 carry away, you might be taking away from your pool, too. That first move that you make, because if you end up winning and you go in the best of 3 to the next one, you might pull a ban on whatever you won with. And, nice.
Mirror match, mirror match, mirror match, mirror match, mirror match. Do it, Uzi.
People would take unsealed spell book, the keystone, the rune that lets you change out your summoner spells, and they started Exhaust Ignite, and they would Exhaust Ignite level 2 or 3 with Spell Thief, and all in the other mid laner, and the mid laner would flash away, they pick up their flash and flash after them, and it almost resulted in first blood every time. It was ridiculous, but then it kind of, people were like, okay, let's make it so it bounces a little bit, you gotta go pick it up, but it still was like, okay, there's other things that are really powerful, but he's not running that here, but he is gonna be able to pick up things like Exhaust, and there's no flash away that could possibly happen here for Uzi, because he has the Exhaust and Barrier.
Right, you think about ways that you can deal with a surprise trouble bubble or something like that on Summoner's Rift. Everybody takes flash all the time, always, so you can still try to evade some of those, even if the sleep's about to wear off. You can flash out of the way of the missile, but not here. Flash, not that combat summoner spell that people are favoring. Airy taken on both players yet again. It seems to be the most prevalent keystone so far just because of the extra trading power early on and the guaranteed power of it. You can't dodge away with boots like you can from Comet or something similar. Longsword 3 pots for Uzi. Wants to have that extra regeneration compared to the Doran's Blade with 1 potion start that we saw in the previous 1 versus 1.
Minions have spawned.
Same start that Bjergsen took over there for Pray. He's got your Doran's Ring plus 2 potions. All right. It always throws me for a loop a little bit too, looking at the top and seeing the gold 0.5k to 0.5k, considering it's never that low on Summoner's Rift.
Yeah, it's very low, but checking out the keystones and the runes right now, both of them have Second Wind, and then Iron Skin and Mirror Shell, of course, Prey's gonna have the Iron Skin and Mirror Shell for Uzi, and then it's both of them Scorch, both of them Monoflow Ban, both of them Airy. Only difference is Prey has Celerity and Uzi has Absolute Focus. So when he's above that 70% HP threshold, he'll have a little bit more AD.
Problem is, when you're at level 1 and you only have, I don't know, 500, 600 HP, falling below 70% means that you took 150 damage.
Yeah.
So you lose that pretty rapidly.
And Uzi gonna hit level 2 first. And chunk Prey a little bit there, already below that half HP and popped a potion, whereas Uzi, no potions just yet.
He's still living the good life. Prey firing off the Paddle Star, only finds its way onto the cannon minion.
Yeah, but every cooldown you use, it's so abusive that you can just walk up next. Uzi gonna hit level 3
Bubble
soon,
bubble.
too. Right in the minion wave.
Paddle Star not finding its mark. Melee Creep doing a good job on that one, being the hero.
Yep, and Uzi gonna hit level 3 first as well and continue his pressure here. This is weird because it feels like both of them are fishing for kills early, fishing for all that poke and harass. But this may be a CS game. You can already see Uzi up quite a bit.
And Uzi got the health pack from Prey's side as well. That's so big. Every time you grab that health pack, it's like an extra potion. And it's not just a game where, okay, I'm up 1 potion. Your opponent is now effectively down 1 as well because he's the one who would, in theory, have that health pack.
Yeah, it's neutral, right? It's one that you can take away from him. And Prey gonna all in already, try to get summoner spells.
Prey trying to make it happen. Finds the Drowsy, finds the Paddle Star.
Gonna pick
still
him
looking
up.
for some more damage.
Oh,
Utilizing
something
the barrier.
else.
He's got the summoner spells. He gets first blood.
What were we talking about at the start? Zoe is bonkers.
Bananas, baby. This champion has the power to all in you so early on because of how effective these summoner spells are. We said it in 1v1 number 1. We're saying it again in 1v1 number 2. When you get chased down and your spells become their spells, look at what happens.
He starts with 250 HP against the like 600 plus HP Uzi, and then he just picks up his summoner spells like, I'll take that one, I'll take that one. First blood for Prey, who loses about only 100 HP in the all-in with double exhaust, double barrier.
Fist pumped up in the air. Prey knows what's going on, and he says, you best ban it away in game number 2 because that was exactly what we wanted to see from this. That game, now, I mean, granted, we only watched it for a couple of minutes, but that game looked like it was going Uzi's way. I mean,
absolutely.
Prey was lower HP. Uzi had the wave shoved up. He was constantly applying poke and pressure, and then Prey just said, okay, we're done playing.
Yep.
And all-ins him.
Yeah, Prey saw the moment to just go all in and try to force the summoner spells. And like we said, summoner spells are so damn powerful in terms of what they bring to the table. Having 2 exhausts, having 2 barriers, ends up with a ridiculous advantage.
And he blocked so much damage. He stopped so much damage. And remember that every time Zoe casts one of those as well, you get your little mini Ari bubble thing.
Yeah.
That shoot out projectiles towards nearby enemies, which adds that much more damage into your payload.
Yeah, and then it also, I believe, refreshes your passive, so you can constantly more sparkles auto-attack them very quickly, and you just chase them down.
So now, going into game number 2, we're assuming that Uzi is probably going to go for a ban onto Zoe. Likely doesn't want to play against that one a second time in a row. How is he going to adapt to this? Because we talked about how seriously this guy's been taking things and how Prey's had more of like a lighthearted attitude throughout the whole thing. So for Uzi, you're now on do or die.
Yeah, but I feel like Prey, he said he was, taking this, kind of lighthearted with Reckless and stuff, but really, he's been serious here. I mostly expect it's because of what happened in the 5v5s, where he was incredibly close. The Winions came through, took it to a game 3, and now he's just saying, okay, I want a little bit of revenge, and he wants to move forward and represent the LCK.
Which is a really cool story in its own right, because that's one thing I was looking forward to about this match. Considering these guys as 5v5 all-star dream teams got to go head-to-head earlier in the day, the result of that I knew would hopefully have some sort of impact on how they decided to play this one. And if that makes Prey take it super seriously against Uzi, who's taking the whole thing super seriously, it means you could get this really cool mechanical contest between two really talented players. And so far, that looks like what we might be getting, Zyrene. Going into Champion Select number 2, Lucian banned away again.
And there's just so much respect here as well. Uzi was talking about, even though he's the defending champion, he's talking about how he respected Prey and how he saw the way he had performed previously. If you go back to, I believe, 2013, that All-Star event where we had the 2-on-2s, Prey won the 2-on-2s alongside Madlife back in the day, the bottom lane.
Old school.
We're going back 4 years at this point, but we're seeing these guys have kind of 1v1 and 2v2 championships under their belt, and they're hungry to get that next one here.
Uzi with the ban onto the Draven yet again. Misfortune also going to be taken off the table, so you've got 3 out of 3 bans the same so far. Not necessarily in the same order, I believe, but still same champions. Azir, another ban matching up. Now Uzi's only got 1 ban left, so if he wants to take Zoe away, he'll have to do it on that one, or he could opt into the Zoe mirror match. Say, look, I know your champion's very strong. I'm just going to do it better than you.
Yeah, that was the other thought there, was he could potentially go for Zoe himself, and then we just have a Zoe Bonanza, but he bans the Varus away, so it's going to force an adaptation here out of Uzi here to pick something else. His last ban previously was Callista.
All right, what's it going to be, Uzi? Do you opt into the Zoe mirror match, or do you ban it away and go with something a little bit more familiar? 5 seconds left to choose. Callista banned away. All right. Let's see if we get it, Zyrene. I would like to see this mirror match because of the ability to outplay each other with positioning, especially if they can manage to get it to level 6 before they kill each other. That'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, if I'm Prey, I'm locking in Zoe 100%. I already won with it. I wouldn't have to show another strategy if I win here and make it to the finals. And if I'm Uzi, I gotta be thinking, is my Zoe better? Is there something that counters it?
Right. Do you try to play a counter, or do you try to play the same thing, thinking I will just do better at this than you can? Prey still hovering the Zoe, not locking it in. I like how he's not locking it in because he's not giving away, oh, I'm just going to play the same thing as last time. If you insta-lock as soon as bans are over and your champion from last time is left open, it could imply that. Okay.
There it is.
All right, no mirror match. It is going to be Zoe versus Syndra this time around. Last time we had Mage versus AD Carry. This time, Mage versus Mage. Still a lot of skill shots. Still a lot of outplay potential.
I really wonder what the thought process is here for Uzi, not banning away the Zoe, and I think he can deal with it. A lot of pride there, and we'll see if he can make it go to a game 3, or if Prey is on his way to the finals.
Summoner spells still the same, at least right now, between these two. Exhaust and Barrier for both. But you gotta remember, you gotta remember, if you're Uzi, what happened last time. Using Summoner spells in these trades. Normally, it's 1 versus 1. You know there's never any worry about a jungler or something else coming after you. So when the other guy clearly is all inning you, you can say, okay, this is the opportunity to use my Summoner spells. It makes sense here. I will get value from using this ability. But against Zoe, you've got to be so careful because you're like, is he going to get more value from this than I am by being able to continue this pressure, continue this advance? And it's so difficult to tell just because you don't have to consider this against any other champion.
Yeah, it's kind of like Zoe is breaking the rules in a way where normally you're like, okay, we're focusing on CSing, we're focusing on trading, but then the all-ins are different. She bends the rules there, and the adjustment that's been made by Uzi is he takes Ignite plus Barrier here. No Exhaust this time. I don't know how much it'll help him out, but we'll see what happens. as we hit game number 2.
I call this the tilted top laner at the end of the season summoner spell loadout, because I have seen Fizzes and Fioras take Ignite Barrier at the end of the season when they're tired of losing because of their team and they just try to go 1 versus 1 and then they get caned. That's the only time I've ever seen this on Summoner's Rift, so let's see how it works out for Uzi here as Pray hangs out in the brushes. Wants to see if maybe he can get an early Paddle Star, but you don't want to do it too early. See, that's the trick, Zyrie. You do it too early, guys got time to get back. You don't actually get anything for your Paddle Star, so you've got to have that. It's the paddle pocket. You got to hit the Paddle Star right in that time pocket where the minions are just arriving, and you end up costing Uzi a potion. Can Pray find the paddle pocket? He's just dancing right now. Hold on. Paddle pocket. Nope, get back in the bush. Nope, okay.
You were saying?
Okay, he did not find the paddle pocket. Where the minions are colliding, we are here.
Oh,
Okay,
nope.
nothing quite. I respect the fact that he went for it instead of just flinging it into the minions.
Yeah, it's definitely harder to find the paddle pocket when you don't have an R to increase your distance or your stun or your sleep, I guess, to keep the person in one spot.
So we got Airy on both these guys again, worth pointing out. You guys can obviously see that on your screen, but just to make sure there's no confusion here, these guys will have extra damage on anything they happen to land on each other. Uzi and Pray both around the same amount of HP right now.
Pray level 2 first, though.
Managing to land that one. Pray with level 2 means the Sleepy Trouble Bubble is online.
Oh, he's trying to
Picked
all in
off.
already.
Trouble Bubble misses. Pray still looking to find the Paddle Star. Going to be ignited. He's looking to make this one happen. Pray getting away, but Uzi with the damage. The first blood.
That was an all-in there that went haywire. It looked like he actually barriered late on Pray's side. I'll have to see that again here because that was so fast. The level 2 all-in, he couldn't find the Ignite on the ground. He's looking for it all over. We'll see this one more time here. Uzi
All right.
goes into the brush, gets level 2 from the minion by auto-attacking it. Perfect there. Ignites. Where's the Ignite? He doesn't have Spell Thief. That's why he can't pick it up. So well done there.
Can't use Spell Thief if you leveled Sleepy Trouble Bubble. So Uzi knew as soon as that bubble missed, okay, he learned this, he missed this, it's time to do this.
I love that he went for the auto attack, not on the trade, but to hit level 2 on the minion wave and to have that second spell to go all in.
Uzi did an awesome job there, and that means we get to go to game number 3.
That was sick.
You were wondering, you got to be wondering what Uzi's thinking here. Can he beat this with the Syndra? Why did he not ban Zoe? Is this the right plan? The answer was yes, it was the right plan. And that means these guys going to have one final 1v1 to see which one of them is truly the master of the Howling Abyss.
Oh, these legendary 80 carries going on. I mean, this is so much fun because this is the mind games on top of the mind games. Like, if Pray goes for Zoe again, is he just going to adapt and say, we'll wait for level 3 and then I'll all in and have the power of having those summoner spells? Because that was one that Uzi definitely outplayed him on that.
Oh, 100%. Uzi recognized the fact that, okay, he can't have the Sleep and the Spell Thief at the same time or else he wouldn't have learned Paddle Star at level 1, and you already saw him shooting the Paddle Star at level 1. So you know, as soon as you see one of those tools, the other one's not there. And as soon as he saw that, the immediate recognition and acknowledgement of, okay, let's go in.
That was so well played there, especially since the fact that he didn't have to ban the Zoe and he had the strategy for it. But this next game, I do want to see what happens in those picks and bans because if he lets Zoe through again, I'm pretty sure Pray is not going to try the same thing over again.
Right, Pray learned his lesson. You would hope Pray learned his lesson. Level 3 worked, level 2 didn't because of the fact that you were able to abuse those summoner spells, or maybe Pray goes really cheeky and does it at level 2 again, but he learns Spell Thief this time.
Maybe, but we'll see.
I do not know. We will see how it plays out. Azir banned out by Uzi. Misfortune by Pray. 2 of the bans still the same.
Uzi, though, changed it up. Draven was his first ban in both of the games previously. Now the Azir is the first ban. The Kalista was the other ban that he had up there. There's Draven.
All right,
okay.
Draven. All right, he's just doing them a little bit different order this time. Let's see what you've got, Pray. What's it going to be? The final match, the decider. Thinking hard. Lucian, okay. 4 bans.
May just be the run back
These
here.
champions have been banned in both games so far. They'll be banned again this time. Uzi, last chance to potentially ban the Zoe away.
Yeah. If I am Uzi, I ban the Zoe just because I feel like it's so hard to deal with, and I feel like Pray, I can get 1 game off him with the level 2. I don't think I get 2 off him with level 3, but Uzi, we'll see how confident he is.
Kalista, he thinks he can beat it again.
Doesn't want to go against the Kalista, the Azir, or the Draven, so just kind of choking out those 3. We've seen pretty much the same bans, but there's the adjustment.
All right, Pray bans away the Syndra, insta-locks the Zoe. No waiting around this time. He knows what he wants.
Oh, it's the run back. That's one of those things where you go smack in your head like, how did I let that happen? I'm the one who initiated the all-in.
Right.
Let's just not do that again. And the thing that happens here now is the change is the Syndra banned one more time. The Varus is what's left here.
Right. Now, you're saying that that's the run back. You have the dope moment, and you have to look at it like that. Prey's saying the problem isn't the champion. The problem is how I played the champion. I know I can win this. Uzi's saying the same thing. The problem isn't the champion. The problem is how I played the champion in game number 1. I can do the same thing.
Yep.
Both these players are ready to go at it, and I think this is probably the coolest way for this to end, considering they're both going to be making adaptations. Prey from game 2, Uzi from game 1. This is it. All the marbles. Whoever wins here goes on to play in the grand finale tomorrow.
The exact same picks and bans from game number 1 between these two guys. This is the final game, the final time that they will face off against each other here in this 1v1 in the last semifinal. You can see Prey there looking up to the sky. He is ready.
Ready, dude. Uzi's focused. Prey is ready.
And this has been an intense 1v1. It's back and forth. Some early kills here between both of these guys. Saw a level 2. I believe it's the first time we've seen a level 2 or a level 1 all in actually result in a kill in this 1v1 tournament.
This is why it's fun with these being best of 3s now as well, because you get to see the little minor adaptations they make from game to deal with each other. And even though we're seeing Prey play the same champion in all 3 games and Uzi switch back and forth between 2 champions, those small adaptations still mean it's a very different game each time. Just because they found what's worked, they found what hasn't, and going into game number 3, we'll see which one really has it down. Prey hanging out in his own brush this time, not willing to walk up. He knows that if they get into an extended auto attack fight, he's up against an 80 carry this time, so he's probably going to lose.
Yeah, and Uzi also running defensive summoner spells now. No offensive summoner spells to help boost the power of the Zoe. Because remember, Zoe all-ined him with like 250 HP, double barrier, had another summoner spell exhaust on top of it, so he was able to catch up to Uzi. So Uzi may be playing the farm or poke game here against the Zoe to keep her away. This may work for him, but also Uzi really wants to move on, man. This guy wants to defend his title, wants to be the back-to-back 1v1 champion, and Prey wants to put an end to that because this guy, he's been having fun, but it's all serious today.
All right, let's see which one of them can come out on top here. Prey firing off the paddle start into the minion wave this time, not looking for that fishing shot onto his opponent. A little bit of damage coming out from Uzi there to proc the Airy, and Prey's just going to continue shoving up, auto attack the minions, help your minions out. Prey only got 3 of those minions out of the 6.
It's mostly for the shove. He wants to shove it so he gets level 2 first, and that Uzi does not. Throwing it back. Gets level 2 so it doesn't have that fast push on a cannon minion.
Auto attack to proc the Airy, still gets himself back. Uzi a little bit lower HP for now, but remember he does have more potions to work with.
Exactly, he has 3 of those potions. And just used a single one of them here.
Cannon minions still pushing up. Remember the cannon minions come on alternating waves on this version of Howling Abyss. So now the cannon minion has arrived, the reinforcements are here for Prey. Uzi continuing to try to push up. There's a lot of minions waiting there. Prey on the wrong end of these trades right
Yeah, but remember, this is what happened in game 1. Prey was sitting very low on HP, and then it was the all-in, it was the summoner spell. So Uzi basically saying the same thing that Prey did in game 2, saying, all I did was mess up. That was it. It was just the fact that I didn't keep the poke pattern.
He's fine just sitting on top of the minion wave for now. Prey goes back, grabs his own health pack. Last time we saw Uzi deny that in this matchup.
Yeah, those spawn at 2 minutes and 15 seconds, respawn every 1:15 afterward.
There's your poke pattern.
There it is. And he's out of potions. He doesn't have any running right now either. You can see Uzi really committed to this Varus, and it's been working.
See how he can do now that he is pushed up underneath, almost underneath that enemy turret. This is where things got bad last time. Playing it slow and steady this time around. Prey with plenty of mana thanks to the mana flow band, proccing every 60 seconds to give him that mana restoration and free spell.
Yep. Issue here, though, for Uzi is he doesn't have an offensive summoner spell, right? No Ignite, no Exhaust to actually all in. It's defensive here. And that's why I kind of figured he would be going for a CS lead. But Prey, gonna all in again. He's trying it. Right. He's going for broke.
Prey trying to bait it out. He gets the exhaust, but Prey will be first blooded by Uzi.
Can't reach the summoner spells. Uzi outplays, and has the run back from game 1.
That's what you said, Zyrene. It's all in the execution. It's not the matchup. Uzi said that today. He comes back and gets his victory that he should have in his mind, been able to get in game 1. He makes the corrections. He fixes the parts of the strategy that weren't in line, and he makes it happen. He's going to the finals.
He's going to the finals to defend his 1v1 crown and become the first two-time All-Star 1v1 champ against Bjergsen, who's looking to reclaim that title. And right here, misses the Sleepy Trouble bubble. He started that off with a paddle star, and Uzi with the counter and the kill.
Poros explode. They run around with all their hearts and their tongues flopping everywhere, and Uzi, he just says, all right, we got it done. Pray, even though he lost, he's still got a smile on his face.
Still got a smile, and that's actually the most excitement I've seen out of Uzi in the 1v1 tournament so far. You can see he was definitely stressed about that. Pray pushed him to the limit.
And that's a sign of respect almost, I think. Because, like you said, in that little intro that we got to see, Uzi said, Pray's a really good player. This is going to be a tough match. He manages to beat him. It did go to all 3 games. So if you are Uzi, you're feeling a little bit of a sense of relief after conquering that opponent that you also had to play against earlier today in the 5v5s.
Absolutely, got the better of him both times. So that's going to be Uzi in the finals versus Bjergsen. We have the 2016 and the 2015 1v1 All-Star champs. And the thing as well is Bjergsen was playing a bunch of Zoe. We just saw that Uzi is okay playing into Zoe.
It could be the Zoe mirror matchup even. Maybe Uzi will break it out. Maybe he was keeping that one hidden today. I really want to see a Zoe mirror matchup, Zyrene. Sleepy Trouble, double Sleepy Trouble bubble. It rhymes 3 different times. It's going to be awesome if they play it, but they might not play it. You never know. Either way, you're either going to have the defending champion keeping the belt, or you're going to have the guy who got it 2 years ago snatching the belt back.
Exactly.
It's going to be an awesome thing to see no matter who wins it. And remember that it is going to be best of 5 as well. So those adaptations that we got to see today, those changes, slight adjustments, even if you're playing the same champions between matchups, we'll see even more of that when these guys go head-to-head.
Yeah, you make it this far in the 1v1 tournament because you have more things that are effective than there are bans that are possible.
Yep.
So you have to be able to at least play 4 to 5 things at an effective level in a 1v1. Then you just change up the strategy. So it becomes about the execution, because we saw the exact same picks across the board except for the Syndra for Uzi. So overall, we actually saw only 7 bans out of 6 total.
Yep.
And then we only saw 3 champions picked throughout these 3 games.
But we saw different adaptations throughout the whole thing. It was a lot of fun to watch, but now we're going to send it over to Shox, who is standing by for an interview with our 1v1 finalists.
Yeah, definitely so with Bjergsen and Uzi. And I'm first going to ask them about their individual victories in their semifinals. And Bjergsen, I want to ask you about that Tom Kench strategy you were up against. What happened there?
It was surprisingly close, actually. I knew that he was going to try to find a way to kill me because that's the only way Tom Kench can really win. But I didn't think it was going to be that close. He ate me and then dragged me half across the map. And it's definitely not something I had practiced against or really was ready for. So I'm pretty happy that I won that one.
You find yourself in the final, you'll be going up against Uzi. And Uzi, you had a very, very exciting semifinal versus Pray. I was quite surprised that you left the Zoe open in the 3rd game. Why did you choose to go for the same matchup? And what adaptation did you make to beat Pray in the Pharah Zoe matchup?
就第1盘、第3盘你都让他选到了佐伊这英雄，然后第1盘输了，第3盘为什么可以取得胜利？
其实就是有点运气好吧，就是因为其实我自己也不是特别了解这个英雄，但是就打打看嘛，就感觉能打就打打看，对。
So he think he's quite lucky. He doesn't know how Zoe works like completely. So he will just play on the game to see how it goes, and he's lucky that he win.
Wow, fantastic. So that must be a bit scary for you because he doesn't even have to know what your champion will do. He's going to beat you, Bjergsen.
Well, it seemed like Prey didn't really know what Zoe did either. So I think I'm going to be more ready. And if Uzi leaves Zoe up against me, I think there'll be a different result.
Well, I am going to expand on that because I would like to give you guys both a chance to say something to each other as your opponents, because you are a 1v1 champion, but Uzi is the reigning 1v1 champion. So Uzi, what would you like to say to your opponent for tomorrow, Bjergsen?
就你有没有想对你明天对手比尔森说什么？
希望我们能有非常愉快的一局游戏吧，就是不要让我说的太难看，或者就是。
Oh, he really wants a happy game tomorrow. Do not make him lose too, ugly.
Oh. Bjergsen, what would you like to say?
I mean, obviously, I'm here to get my title of the 1v1 champion back. I don't have too many bad things to say about Uzi because I think he is a really good player, and I said from the get-go, if I'm going to be in the final, Uzi will be in the final, and that ended up happening. So it'll be a fun match.
It'll be a fantastic match. Can't wait for that one. Well, congratulations to you both. That'll be very explosive tomorrow. Back over to you guys at the desk.
Thank you very much, Shocks. A little preview of tomorrow's 1v1 final. Bjergsen versus Uzi.
Happy game.
Both of which, yeah, we're hoping for a happy series.
We are trash
tomorrow.
talking.
But
Happy
both of them, former 1v1 champions, Uzi being the reigning champion as of right now. So it makes for, a very climactic finish to the tournament tomorrow to watch these two duke it out in a best of 5.
I don't know. It seemed like Uzi did know what Zoe did. Maybe not the intricacies, but he certainly understood her trading patterns, like how to constantly hide into the creep wave when the paddle
He figured him out after he lost in game 1,
Yeah,
right? And
it's
then he's like,
simple.
oh, now I got it.
Dodge skill shots and land your poke.
Right,
Like, that's how it is
do what you
against
do
most
against
champions.
every
Yeah,
skill
he
shot
changed
champion
his
in
summoner
100.
spells and everything. He was very much.
Oh, I love it. But let's roll back through these 1v1s. We had 2 best of 3s today. Bjergsen versus Jisoo being the first one, followed by Pray versus Uzi. The first one, a 2-0 in favor of Bjergsen. But hey,
close
Jisoo, he did put on his show. You asked for it to official. You were
Yeah.
rooting for him. He showed us some fun stuff.
I mean, especially the time Kent was amazing. The Draven one, I wasn't like too excited about that one, and obviously here the fact he actually ends up getting, hit by that CC is a little bit unlucky for him, and he ends up dying. But
Unlucky Zoe.
the next one was the super cool one where he almost managed to kill Bjergsen.
What about this shot? You're not going to talk about that at all? He goes straight for the
Look
health.
at this one.
This was the highlight here. I mean, unfortunate miss on the tongue lash there, because that probably would have ended the game in favor of
Yeah,
Jisoo.
and the funny thing is, he has so much slow resistance with his runes as well, and then also his boots. He has swiftness boots in this one. So when he actually devours Bjergsen, he doesn't get slowed down, and that's why he can drag him so far back on the map. Sadly, because again, he missed the first one, he doesn't have the damage to kill him, and I think he kind of knew it's all in now or nothing.
Yep.
Not enough for him.
Damage resistance, but Bjergsen himself said that he was taken, by surprise with how much damage was dealt by that Tom Kench, as well as how far he was able to travel across the map.
Yeah, it was also the use and timing of the exhaust when he used it, because he wasn't close to the tower. He didn't have to use it to slow him down. He could do it to mitigate the damage. But like I said, it felt like Uzi figured out Zoe rather quickly over the course of these 1v1s.
Yeah, but Pray there in game 1, I mean, playing the use of 4 summoner spells to 2, essentially, to grab the victory in the auto attack trade at the end. This one here taking an ill-advised all-in at level 2 without the ability to pick up summoner spells.
So hilariously, I walked out of the room and I came back in, it was over. I looked at Dash, I was like, oh, that's ingenious. Uzi would take a champion that could kill someone at level 2 to kill Zoe before she got the opportunity to pick up the summoners. Dash was like, no, Pray actually just ran out.
No, that was all Pray. Pray just walked forward and was like, we're gonna fight now. Uzi said, okay, I'll take the victory. Comes back with the mirror matchup from game 1, plays it better that time around, pushes himself to the finals. So now let's talk about that final matchup. Just real briefly, I have to correct myself. Earlier I said it will be a best of 5. It's actually a best of 3. It's the Dream Team tournament. That's the best of 5. So in a best of 3, Bjergsen versus Uzi. What could either of these guys taken away from these couple days here about the other to come in with a very solid plan to winning it all?
I feel like I know what to expect from Uzi. He's going to have this very stable roster of AD carries with the addition of the Syndra, and it doesn't feel like he's really wants to step outside of those champions.
Right.
So I feel like it's going to be on Bjergsen, and the ways he can come up with getting CS leads and stuff like that to try and finish it.
And there are certainly traps. Uzi always likes to get the initial push, so that way when the health relic spawns, that he has control of that, and that seems like a pretty obvious and fairly straightforward pattern. But a lot of these players, because it's different from Sunray Rift, the timings are different on the waves, the timings are different on the relic spawn or the relics being there at all. And I think he has it actually tracked, whereas the other players are kind of figuring it out as it goes. So I think it's an easy trap to set up that Uzi's going to get the initial push, and he's going to try to abuse that health relic. If I play a champion with CC, I can probably lay it down and catch him.
Yeah, I would expect Bjergsen to know all that. Like, he's been preparing on the 1v1 map as well. It's funny, both players are not really taking big chances in the way they're playing. Like, we've seen some all-in from certain players, like Jisoo being one of them, but both Bjergsen and Uzi plays it very safe. There's just a big difference is Bjergsen is playing a lot of mages. He'll probably play Talia, try and go for the push again for 100 CS, where Uzi's, again, 80 carries.
So who do you give the advantage to, the ADC or the mage then in a 1v1? Because granted, Pray isn't a mid laner. We did just see the AD carry come out on top 2-1 against the mage player in that 1v1.
I don't know. I would put a little bit of faith in the stability of the AD carries, right? The pattern for playing this is very straightforward, as Frost was talking about, trying to get that push, control the relics and stuff like that. But I'm super curious to see what Bjergsen's going to come out with because, like we said, it's pretty easy to figure out. The differences are the cannon minions are desynced. The turret shots are a little bit different. You don't want the ranged minions to take any damage first, and you just one prep the melees instead of letting them get hit by 2 turret shots. But once you have those down and the startings of the relics, that's when the creativity is going to come in. And I know that Bjergsen has been, playing some 1v1s and trying to come up with the cheese strategies. Mike Young said he had cheese champions that he was practicing against
Bjergsen,
and we haven't seen any of those.
That's true. That's true. He hasn't been pushed to the limit yet. He hasn't had to fall back on cheese champions just yet. All right, with our finals locked in, let's take a look at the schedule for tomorrow. The Dream Team tournament ends with a battle between the LPL and the LMS, while the 1v1 tournament closes out with a best-of-3 between Bjergsen and the reigning champion in Uzi. Let's talk about that best-of-5 Dream Team finals because we've already hit the 1v1s plenty. LPL, LMS, revenge matchup. These two regions, they're familiar with each other, Frost. So what do you expect to see tomorrow?
And it's not even just the regions, it's the players themselves specifically. I mean, Ziv and Mako, AHQ, and EDG are practically sister teams. They scrim all the time, so those guys know each other inside and out. And like you said, it is that grudge match. AHQ denied EDG at Worlds, and so Mako can get a little bit of some home crowd advantage since the crowd seems to be mostly Chinese.
I'm still baffled by that. The entire crowd speaks Chinese, apparently. Where did all the NA fans go?
All the LPL signs as far as the eye can see.
I am enjoying all the LED signs. We don't normally get those in the NALCS studios, and I'm enjoying finally having them. What are your guys' take on the LMS, the undefeated LMS here at the tournament up against the LPL, who showed some stuff today against Korea?
Yeah, I mean, the semifinal was almost too easy for LMS. They didn't really have to show a whole lot. They had fairly standard pick and ban phases. I'm sure each player has like a new pick ready he could pull out if it is a really close series and they want to surprise the LPL team, and they haven't really been forced to show that. We obviously know with LPL, it's Malzahar is like super hyper.
Lots of Malzahar.
But that's the thing, they can take away the Malzahar, and it's cool because Fofo and CA both have really famous LeBlancs. So if it's the Malzahar goes down and then you're reaching for those pocket picks, both of them could be in a race, and we could see a much higher priority for mid picks.
I feel a little bit more comfortable with the LMS as far as champion pool goes. They feel more versatile. LPL was banning Zoe even on blue side, so it felt like Xie was relying a little bit more on things like Malzahar and stuff like that. And
that's
maybe
because Uzi's not going to play. So Gotta ban it out if Uzi's not going to play. Well, as our week comes to a close, make sure to tweet your favorite moments from the tournament using that hashtag AllStar2017, and we'll kick off the show tomorrow by sharing your thoughts. Now, though, for myself, the casters, and the entire live broadcast crew, thank you for watching. We'll see you tomorrow for the conclusion of All Stars. Good night. Welcome back to day 3 of the 2017 All-Star event. The fans have arrived to show their support for the remaining All-Stars in attendance as things here are winding down.
First, looking for a second. It's in fact Casa that gets the kill. Ziv throws up that ice boulder, won't find the slow, won't need it. Solar Flare comes down and GPL are running for their lives. Ziv joins the board, shuts down Ziv. Zombie Ziv gets one back. Jisoo's taken down from beyond the grave. And that's where you use the stopwatch. In fact, he's still alive.
Oh my God, that ultimate.
Bullet time destroys the GPL. Welcome to the finals, LMS.
We're kicking off the 1 versus 1 semifinal.
There's your stun barrier. Jisoo can't do it. First blood to Bjergsen. Kube over the great flank, zooming in forward. Mako trying to tie them up on the other side of Xie. He's so late in his fight, but Uzi lets it go with the bullet time. Not gonna find it though. No one dead just yet. They got Faker. Takes down Faker, and that might be enough. Knock up lands. Uzi takes down Gorilla and Pray. Not gonna get taken down.
we have to survive for 2 minutes long and then win.
I don't think they can do it. They've got no carries. They start to down, but that's it. Everybody dead, and the game goes to Korea. Shots, they just need to keep a bit down to the pit. They're going in with the ball time, trying to take it out with the Gorilla steals it. Scoop, silence down there as Pray is not going to live through the assault. A double kill for Uzi. Faker tagged up as well, flashes and dies.
Nice,
And a win here cements a brothers' war in the final of the 2017 All-Star. He's got the summoner spells. He gets first blood. Taking it away, but Uzi with the damage, the first blood. He gets the exhaust, but will be first blooded by Uzi.
He's going to the finals to defend his 1v1 crown.